Big Ten players have made their NFL draft decisions, and we're going to talk about who has set themselves up best for next season by bringing back that precious NFL talent. And there's a number of teams that were able to bring back some of their NFL talent. We're not going to talk about every single guy who's gone. We might talk about a few of them that were maybe on the fence a little bit here and there. But we're going to talk about the key guys who are coming back next year, what it could mean for their team a little bit, and then kind of get through some of that stuff there. So very interesting stuff to talk about with the NFL draft in the Big Ten and how many guys are coming back. Let's just go ahead and go down the line by team, starting with Illinois. Illinois is going to return two key guys who could have gone to the NFL but decided to come back instead. That's Brandon Henderson, guard there for Illinois, and then Matthew Bailey. Now, there is some speculation that Xavier Scott might come back, and apparently he did not have to declare for the NFL draft on Wednesday. Wednesday was for the guys who are, juniors and not running out of eligibility. Xavier Scott, he's a senior, but he could possibly get eligibility from getting that injury to be able to come back next season. He might just go to the NFL. Right now, looks like he's about a 4th or a 5th round pick from a lot of the projections coming off his injury. But he's a guy that if he was not injured this season, a lot of people thought could have been a 2nd, 3rd, maybe even got himself into the 1st round type of guy, as he could have been one of the best cornerbacks in the Big Ten and definitely got a lot of recognition for that. So we'll see what happens with Xavier Scott. Not really sure either way on how that one might go. I feel like he would probably go and just get his career started in the NFL, but you never know. Things could change, and everybody has different stuff they want to do. Indiana, we do not have any idea. Indiana's deadline will be January 23rd. So they play in the national championship. They'll have a few days after that for guys to make their decisions on if they want to go or not. They do give some extra time for the guys in the national championship game. But Indiana, like I said it on Twitter, Indiana has 12 different guys who are starting on offense and defense who are juniors. So even if Indiana has some guys who go, they're still going to have a lot of guys who could come back next season. Omar Cooper Jr. being one of them. Charlie Becker is actually a sophomore, so he can't even go at all. But a number of guys on this offense. I mean, Fernando Mendoza technically could come back, but I don't think there's any way that happens. This isn't a Dante Moore situation where he really only started for one season. He's been starting for a while. Played reps at Cal. Played a ton of reps at Indiana. He's ready, and he'll go to the NFL and probably do very well in the NFL. Might be the 1st round draft pick in the NFL. You got that in front of you. It's hard to turn it down, right? Iowa had a couple of offensive linemen that I want to highlight. Kade Pieper, he was actually projected to be a 1st round draft pick by CBS Sports. He announced that he is coming back. And then Trevor Lauk, he is coming back as well. He was projected to be a 2nd round draft pick by CBS Sports in December. So both of these guys, they had some people believing they could go pretty high, day 1, day 2 type of picks, but they elected to come back and play offensive line for Iowa. And I think this is great news if you're an Iowa fan. Great news for the running game. They have a great stable of running backs there, and that running back room with bringing in, I believe, 1 or 2 transfers there, and then also the way they build up their guys and develop them. So going to be really interesting for Iowa next season. Do as much as you possibly can to help support Hank Brown and Jeremy Hecklinski, and I think that they're doing a good job of that. So bringing back Piper and Lausch, that should be really, really good stuff there. For Maryland, really only one notable that's coming back is the punter Bryce McPherson. He apparently is coming back to Maryland. So great news for Maryland. You have a great punter next year. He's one of the best punters in college football, and especially with Ryan Eckley being gone, he is going to the NFL draft. He was a redshirt junior, made sense for him to go, and he's going to be off to the NFL draft. Michigan, so they lost Marlon Klein. He announced very early in January. I was kind of surprised by that. I would have thought maybe Marlon Klein would have came back, especially with Kyle Whittingham there, but also Utah was bringing over some good tight ends with them most likely. And so Marlon Klein, this probably was one of his best opportunities to go to the NFL and get some good stuff there. And then Jair Hill, the cornerback from Michigan, he is going to come back as well. Minnesota gets their guy Anthony Smith coming back and returning from what I saw there. Looks like he's coming back. Yeah, that was when I had to double check really fast because he announced like all the way back at Christmas time, and so when they're all the way back like that, you're like, okay, hold on, I got to double check this really fast. He's coming back, great stuff there. Unfortunately for Nebraska, they are going to lose Emmett Johnson, who's going to be going off to the NFL. Would have been nice to get Emmett Johnson back, but he's a running back. He doesn't want to put too many miles on his legs. He wants to get hit too much, and he's got a lot of draft stock right now with the kind of season that he had at Nebraska, so he's got to capitalize on that. Elijah Pritchett could, apparently he's coming back next season. We'll see what that looks like with him on the offensive line. Maybe one more season there, kind of getting better entwined and everything. Could be good stuff there. Northwestern with Michael Kilbane and Griffin Wildey. This was really interesting to try and figure out because neither of these guys announced, but both of them could possibly go. But there's also speculation that they could still go. And you get this every now and then with guys that don't announce they're coming back or don't announce that they're declaring for the NFL draft. And neither of these guys announced they're declaring, but neither of these guys announced that they're coming back either. So very interesting situation. Michael Kilbane sounded like somebody said, one of the NFL draft scouts, I think for the Falcons, said that he's going to be coming back. And then Griffin Wildey alluded to him coming back next year for Northwestern in an interview one time. So we're going to go ahead and say they're back. But these are definitely ones we're going to want to monitor a little bit as there's been no clear clear return being announced for them or anything like that. Ohio State loses a number of guys: Caleb Downs, Arvell Reese, Carnell Tate, Caden McDonald, Max Clare. Most of those guys you thought were gonna leave, but they do pretty much retain that entire offensive line. Austin Seierveld, Luke Montgomery, Carson Hinsman, they're all returning. Jermaine Matthews, he's coming back. And then Kenyatta Jackson was the one that was being asked about. Will Kenyatta Jackson declare for the NFL draft or not? Very interesting situation here, as Kenyatta did not declare, but he also did not say he's coming back. To my knowledge, Wednesday night was the deadline of declaring or not. Now, just because you didn't post a graphic on your Instagram doesn't mean you didn't declare, but apparently we do not know for sure if he has declared. The NFL draft circles are acting like he is coming back for next season, so I'm going to put him as assumed to be returning, but no announcement on Wednesday, nothing like that. So we don't know for sure, but it does sound like he is going to return. And then the other team, Oregon, on the other side of the ball with their line of scrimmage, going to be bringing back their entire starting defensive line. Bear Alexander, Amari Washington, Matayo Uiagalelei, Tatum Teote, I apologize. Make sure I say that right. He's coming back as well. So you're going to get that entire defensive line for Oregon coming back. It is frustrating for Oregon fans a little bit because you're going to lose some depth there. Talked about Tion Gray there, who's going to be leaving Oregon most likely to Nebraska. It looks like if that visit goes well that he's going on. But yeah, I mean, this is what you get, right? You bring guys back, and it's going to be a fantastic defensive line next season, but you're just not going to have the depth for it because guys, that finish their second year in the program, they want to play. And so you're going to see guys like that move on. It is what it is, kind of stinks, but it's what happens. Jamari Johnson could be one of the best tight ends in the country next season. He was good this year, obviously overshadowed by Kenyon Sadiq a little bit there, but he could be really good. Poncho is coming back as well. So a lot of good stuff. I mean, Dante Moore, right? I mean, Dante Moore sounded like he really made the mature decision to come back for his development, for him to continue to get reps, get snaps. And I think that's a smart decision by Dante Moore. Sure, you can chase the money, you can chase all this stuff, but it's not like he's not going to make good money at Oregon. He's going to make plenty of good money there at Oregon, and he's going to be treated well, and they should put him in another good opportunity to be able to be drafted highly next season as well. The Drew Aller situations are few and far between. Those don't typically happen, but, we'll see. It's going to be interesting. But I think I like Dante Moore as a quarterback more than I do Drew Aller. Drew Aller was going to be drafted on a lot by traits last season if he went. He obviously did not. And then report came out, I believe it was Matt Zenitz, that said he believes that Evan Stewart is likely returning to college. Interesting wording there for me. Likely returning to college, he said about Evan Stewart. I don't know if that means that Evan Stewart is contemplating the portal. I don't know if that means that he is for sure coming. Very interesting situation. We'll see what happens here. But Evan Stewart sounds like he is coming back next year. hopefully to Oregon. I would assume he's coming back to Oregon, but that wording was just very interesting and something I wanted to note. And then that's pretty much it. I mean, you have a few other guys. Penn State has Tony Rojas and Zion Tracy coming back. Vega Ione, he's gone. Purdue, Rutgers, UCLA didn't really have anybody notable. USC had Jacoby Lane, Makai Lemon, Kamari Ramsey gone, but they are going to bring back defensive lineman or edge Braylon Shelby, who's going to be good. Linebacker Tamir Robinson, Elijah Page there on the offensive line is going to be good, and then another defensive lineman Jamal Jarrett. Definitely good guys for USC to bring back. And then Washington, Drew Azzopardi is going to be coming back as well, returning for his 5th year of college football. So that's kind of your key NFL draft decisions that are out there. We'll see if we get any more news on a couple of these guys, like Michael Kilbane, Griffin Wildey, or Wildey, Kenyatta Jackson, Evan Stewart, a few guys like that are a little bit more mysterious right now, but that's kind of the way they lean.